Faisal, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about sustainable finance. I would love to hear about your personal journey and how you came to be head of ESG and corporate strategy at Mashreq.
I joined Mashreq as head of risk strategies and governance. During my capacity, I was engaged with my distinguished colleagues at Mashreq in risk management on climate change, climate risks, and looking at converging the risks into opportunities. The role evolved, and the leadership of the bank nominated me to be chairing and heading the ESG and corporate strategy. The instruction were very clear, embedding the ESG in the corporate DNA of the bank, taking us to the next level with the leadership support. My previous capacity, I worked in the Ministry of Interior and Abu Dhabi Police, where I served for 25 years as a colonel, where I was Chief Information Security Officer and Executive Director of Digital Transformation and AI, in addition to being the Director-Founder of Ministry of Interior Child Protection Center. In my previous capacity, I was engaged on digital transformation, re-engineering processes to ensure there is a seamless experience to customers and exceeding their expectations, and calculating, of course, our emissions, our footprint, and reducing the time consumed for delivering the services. I'll give one example. In the last 29 years or 27 years, the journey of renewing a car registration, for example, used to take 3 days. Currently, in few seconds from your mobile app, you can deliver, and you will get an immediate digital copy on your device with another one which will be posted and sent to your address. Such journey is not only increasing the happiness or enhancing the well-being of the individuals, reducing the time required to deliver a government service, but also enhancing the UAE digital maturity and the UAE journey in digital transformation. Our footprint when it comes to environmental aspects is definitely a key pillar now. The government mandates and expect us to allocate and collect information related to our emissions, the time spent by individuals to get the service delivered, and the footprint on environmental aspects when it comes to document and hard copies that used to be required. Such integration and such a journey would definitely expedite my journey on ESG and strategy, digital transformation. I see digital transformation as a key enabler, not only to ensure satisfaction of the customers, but also our mission toward a sustainable future. At Mashreq, we are proud to be digitally savvy. We are one of the leading or pioneer banks in digital banking, and the ESG is no exception.
So following on from that, can you tell us a little bit more about your ESG strategy?
Of course. We are collaborating with different regulators based on our international branches and our home country regulators like Central Bank. We are addressing the priorities, including addressing Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3 of the emissions, our own emissions, our vendors' emissions, and our obligors or clients. Addressing climate risk is a key component, and this is evolving exponentially. It will affect our financial transaction, our financial rating, if I may call it. Identifying what's green and what's social is definitely a challenge. As a bank, we are looking at converging the risk when it comes to climate risk into an opportunity with a commitment of $30 billion by 2030 to facilitate and finance sustainable finance and including green finance. The definition of ESG and the taxonomy, when we look at it from a regional perspective, it's a learning journey and it's evolving. The maturity around the ESG rating for us as a bank, we had a leap of 300 positions between last year and this year. which is a significant improvement for us as a financial institution that reflect the commitment of the whole bank and the vision and the ambitious visionary commitment from the leadership in the bank. In addition, our engagement in accumulating data with our clients, partners I would call them, to achieve the net zero ambitious targets, short term by 2030 and long term by 2050, is a journey that we need to take it in a collaboration approach to achieve such noble objective.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you that. We've some great headway with the work you're doing at your bank, and a lot of fantastic pledges being made here at COP, but like you said, we're still a long way off reaching those SDG targets that the UN have recommended by 2030. As a whole, looking at the slightly bigger picture now, what do you think the banking system's role is in that?
We are a key enabler. Any ambitious plans around energy transition or addressing the sustainable development goals, whether it's preventing hunger, food security, or preventing poverty, or even reducing crimes, will not happen without the proper finance in place. So we are setting the foundation for the key enablers to address that journey, whether it's energy transition or other sustainable development goals that we need to address or prioritize. It's a journey that we need to take, redefining public-private partnership into the next generation. I would call it PPP 2.0. Evolving and maturing such journey will need an ecosystem accelerator. At Mashreq, we are more than willing in expediting the journey with our distinguished partners, whether private sector or government sector, into taking this leap towards a sustainable future.
So moving from the bigger overall picture, I'd like to just zoom in and look at the UAE specifically now, if I may. The government subsidises a lot of social services. How do you see that continuing in a sustainable fashion going forward in the future?
The taxonomy of ESG needs to materialize and become with a broader definition and engagement from public and private sector, not only addressing the environmental pillar but also the social pillar, looking at addressing certain priorities like underprivileged families, etc., to include them and to ensure inclusion is happening. Social investment bonds is a key enabler. Addressing those enablers from a financial segment, it's not only with a social impact, but also it can be a profitable financial product once designed correct in a very transparent mechanism with the government. We can look at different insurances or tools to make sure that it's profitable, subsidies, incentives and rewards, even tax rebate, or utilizing long-time existing Islamic products like Waqf to provide the guarantees required. In Arabic it's called takaful, to provide the required means of providing the guarantees for the underprivileged family to take a loan with a social impact. This will not only address poverty or address food security, but it will also prevent crimes and increase and amplify the well-being, more affordable housing, more emerging challenges will be addressed, health and well-being. Such tools in sustainable financing, when we address social, will bring us back to the basics, a human-centric approach.
COP28 has been such an opportunity for everyone to meet various stakeholders from all over the world. What would you like to see come out of COP28 if you could prioritize one or two things?
The commitment and the ambition of climate change became more materializing and evolving around achieving noble objective with solid on-ground enablement. The promises done in previous COPs need to be governed. So looking at COP as a function or as an event, I hope that it will evolve into an international governance body that will regulate and overlook or oversee the commitments, the emissions, the targets are met, and at the same time building knowledge and awareness and education to enable generations to come to address the challenges that we are facing today immediately.
It's putting some action behind the words that we're hearing here. Faisal, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.